Charles Frasier is part of that rare breed of CPAs, even of people. It's a quality the poets call magnanimity. That magnanimity is like a wholesome, foundational character. It's nobility, it's truthfulness, it's being a servant, it's being selfless, being a giver, not a taker. That's who Charles Frasier is.
September of 1977, my first quarter freshman year at Lipscomb. I signed up for a math and finance class, and lo and behold, you walk in the door.
I met Charles back in the 1970s as a student at Lipscomb. I stumbled into his intermediate accounting class at Lipscomb and sat on the back row, and it changed my life. He could be talking about a significant accounting pronouncement one minute, and he might be talking about Ozzy Osbourne the next minute. And I said, how does this guy even know who Ozzy Osbourne is? It's really amazing. Charles had two careers at the same time. Charles was a full-time professor, and then he not only taught accounting, but he was able to practice accounting at the same time throughout most of his life.
If you wanted to find Charles at Lipscomb, you had to find him in the morning. He'd usually get to work about 7, and he's leaving about 1 or 2, and then he'd head to the other office at Frasier, Dean, and Howard.
My best memories of having gotten to know you, Charles, have been at recruiting events and watching your interaction with your former students. Every one of them always takes the time to go up and talk to Charles. And that is just an example of the influence that he's had on so many CPAs in the Nashville area that they will take the time to come back to speak to him when he's at these events. You know, if we had 100 accounting professors like Charles Frasier across the country, that would take us a long way towards solving our pipeline problem.
He taught at Lipscomb, he taught at UT Nashville. He's influenced thousands of students, of CPAs, not just in this state, but probably all over the country. And then you look at his service on the Tennessee Board of Accountancy, you look at his service on the Auditing Standards Board. He has had a chance to influence accounting regulation over this country for many years.
You can talk to any of his students, and I've talked to many of them. They all have nothing but praise and laudatory comments to make about Charles. And that's a mark of a great man.
In Nashville, a city auditor had resigned, and they like for it to be someone that the TSCPA recommends. Asked Charles if he would serve in that position, and what did Charles do? Charles did what he always does. He said yes. And he was able to serve in that position for a few years as I guess kind of a buffer between a more permanent selection. But Charles is just always willing to do what needs to be done to progress our profession. And that's, I mean, what else can you ask for? This profession, as we all know, has been good to all of us. And it's because we have examples from people like Charles Frasier that make it easy to pay it forward and do the same thing.